Hello, I'm Mahindra Singh. I'm an illustrator in Montreal, and here are my three favorite snarks, ranked in no particular order because it's an apple and oranges kind of thing. Here we go. This is the 2006 snark of John Vernon Lloyd, a pen and ink artist in the UK, highly successful illustrator of children's books and a good educator. He started out as a jobbing illustrator. Jobbing illustrator freelances or works on staff for ad agencies, usually making illustrations for businesses, civic organizations, and so forth, usually small and usually not so well paying. It's not a glamorous or well paying genre of the illustration world, but in the good old days, it was how many illustrators started, especially pen and ink artists, since pen and ink was and is easier and cheaper to reproduce. And some of the pictures in this snark are what's called spots, and spots are a mainstay of the jobbing illustrators' work. So he did some very good spots for this one. These spots are getting more complex now. Uh, and then this is a beautiful one of the beaver weeping. His pen work is very good. Larger pictures, half pages, and so forth. The blank map. And then we get into the full pages. The boys rigging out for a fight. The beaver's lesson. Very much harkening back to Holiday's original pictures with some very good pen and ink handling. His handling of black and white is just the textures, the sleekness, and it's sleek but without being too mechanical, which is hard to pull off. The Bandersnatch is wonderful. The Banker's Fit, beautiful work. And then finally, the Snark is Eye. This, for some reason, always reminds me of something by Paul Klee. Beautiful cross hatching. Disciplined, tight, precise, but not mechanical. And now we come to another snark, the 2006 Snark Diorama project of David Elliott, a New Zealand illustrator, recently reviewed in the Snarkologist. This is a limited edition set with the diorama in the background, and the characters can stand in front of it. They're printed on sheets that you can push out by yourself and make them stand in front of it. All of the crew and the creatures in the Snark. The background picture is showing the Snark, HMS Snark, sailing into Snark Island, which is, of course, in New Zealand, and I believe it's where the artists live in Otago Bay, it's called. There was also the Otago University, which did this original printing project. Everything is printed in what's called solar etching. This is an intaglio form of etching that I'm not personally familiar with, but it seems to be a way of using sunlight to expose the original artwork onto a photosensitive plate, which is then etched not with acid, but in this case with ordinary tap water, which is an enormous improvement upon the usual procedure. It's then printed and inked and printed in the usual way. And as you can see, this intaglio process, as always, gives the artwork a wonderful look that other printing methods usually can't match. This project was later expanded into a museum exhibition and then a book, but I think the diorama version is the best one. I think Lewis Carroll, I think this would have been his favorite one too. We all know how fond he was of theatricals and children's puppet plays, especially those little paper ones the Victorians were so fond of. Look at that guy's hair. Beautiful work. The jump, jump. And now we come to an entirely different snark from Russia. This one is by Igor Alainikov. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. A Russian illustrator, published in St. Petersburg 2020 by the Vita Nova Press. Reviewed in Knight's Letter 107 by Andrew Ogus and August Imholtz, and they were quite taken with it. This one is set on a submarine, and it is a very dark snark. The artist was trained as a chemist actually, and then he somehow got into the animation business, and you can see the animation influence in his layouts and so forth, in his spreads. It has a very kinetic sort of look. He eventually moved into children's books and has become quite successful. He's very, very well known in Europe, where publishers tend to be more adventurous than in North America. If you're looking for his work online, be aware there's another artist with the same name, but with not the same talent. He's all over the place, and it's a bit hard to find information about R. Olinikov. The bathing machine. This is He almost gets an etching look with his, I'm assuming, gouache and ink work. Beautiful. This snark has the dark, brooding feel of Central and European history, the feeling of endless battlefields, of human suffering, of cruelty, of general organizational lunacy. It's very much in the Slavic sort of tendencies of very theatrical presentations combined with very deep conceptual thinking. There's a bit of color work, occasional spot color, red thrown in. I'm assuming this is the blank map. This, I think, is the butcher. I have no idea what this is about. It looks cool. This is near the end, and this is the vanishing. Beautifully done. This snark is unusually dark, but I have the feeling that of all three snarks, technically and conceptually, it pushes the hardest. In any case, I want to thank Mark Burstein, Dana Lozinski, and Mark Richards for their assistance in this presentation. And I hope you enjoyed my three snarks.